So Ilima-Lei, congratulations on maintaining the title. I know this is not the way you were hoping to.
Out.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't the way you were hoping to. When you landed the elbow on Vita and you noticed how profusely she was bleeding, did you think they may stop it at all?
So actually, when I landed that elbow, and that was like the one elbow I threw, I actually heard it sounded like bone cracking. That I heard that one, but I didn't even know she was bleeding until we stood up, and I saw the blood just pouring out. Yeah, I didn't know it was that bad until Jason stopped the fight, and then I was like, oh, this actually might go to a doctor's stoppage.
Yeah. Was there anything about her striking or her pressure that threw you off a little, or just impressed you overall in the fight?
Not necessarily with her striking. It was more so her wrestling defense. You could tell that's what they did for their camp in preparation for me. You know, preparing for my takedowns against the cage, out in the open. So I was actually really impressed with that. She had a really solid rock star stance. That's what we call it. So it was a little bit more difficult to take her down. But as far as her striking, I mean, she did the same stuff that she normally does. I was expecting that.
And sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Oh well, I did remember asking you about the atmosphere of the Bay Area during the day. So what did you think of it overall? And that was a great entrance, by the way, honoring your culture and everything. So what did you think of tonight's atmosphere?
Oh, it was super cool. I mean, we were, and then afterwards we were sitting in the back watching videos, and I'm just like, you look so beautiful to my water protector women that danced me out. So yeah, just being able to see you know, the video footage of everything, I was like, this is incredible. It's truly the Shark Tank, you know, like they're dressed in blue, the water theme, the graphics behind us was just amazing. So yeah, it was a really awesome atmosphere. Even the crowd, you know, you could feel the vibes and everything. And yeah, you know, they were disappointed. They were just like, yeah, I know that they wanted to see more, and I totally agreed with them. So I understand the crowd's frustration. You know, nobody wants to get a doctor stoppage in a championship fight, you know, and especially somebody like Vita, who's just a warrior. She would have fought with a cracked skull, you know, she would have kept going. So I understand everyone's frustration, but other than that, the vibes were amazing. I would love to come back to the Shark Tank.
Awesome. Thanks, Ilima-Lei. Did you talk to her afterwards?
No, actually, I heard that she had to go to the hospital. Like they could see her skull. That's what I heard. So I didn't get a chance to see her after, but I did say in her ear, you know, right before they did the announcement at the end of the fight, I did say, you got the rematch, girl, let's do it. So yeah, but I could tell that her in her corner was really frustrated.
How are you physically? There was some speculation on press row that you might have broken your nose.
No, dude, okay, so I have a flat Hawaiian nose. We call it upepe nose. I got it from my mom. And I swear, like, no matter how many times I get punched in the nose, it doesn't break. It'll bleed, but I've never had a broken nose. It doesn't even hurt, you know, so I guess that's good genetics. Thanks, Mom. But yeah, like, everything feels fine. Even my elbow, my elbow was probably more sore against Valerie Letourneau, you know, but everything feels fine. I have a little mat burn on my knee, but other than that, everything's good.
When would you like to run this back?
So like timeline wise, I normally fight in the winter season, you know, it's either November or December, and I fight twice a year. So I'm hoping that it'll be the same, you know, that's just what I like to do. But you know, and I'm also taking a couple vacations like I normally do after all of my fights. I'm moving into a new house pretty soon that I want to do some work on, and I have a mortgage to pay now, so, I'm putting it out in the universe that it's, hopefully the inspection was yesterday, and I literally just got an email with the inspection report, so I'm like, I'm gonna wait till Monday to look at that. But yeah, I mean, I'm planning on moving into the house this summer, so I think it'll be nice to kind of take a little break, but yeah, I mean, hopefully we can run it back. Maybe if we take it back to Hawaii, I still don't know if we're gonna do it, but that would be really dope.
When I talked to you earlier in the week, you said you were extremely calm and it was making you nervous.
Yeah.
Did that last, or at what point did it, you know?
Yeah, it did. It still made me nervous because, like I said, I just felt flat. So we were warming up in the back, and I told my coach, I'm like, you guys, my legs are really tired for some reason. And they're like, we think you might be having an adrenaline dump. And so I was that's when I started getting nervous in the back, that maybe I was like way too calm fight week, not enough meltdowns happening. So yeah, I really did feel flat in those first couple of rounds. So yeah, maybe I need to have more meltdowns. I think that's like what makes me fight better, fight night.
Ilima, congratulations.
Thanks, Gareth.
Scott Coker is saying behind the scenes that Hawaii is on the cards again for December.
Woo!
I mean, you and Vita in Hawaii, obviously her style, and the fact you were behind on the cards when you won. Two things there really. How good would it be to take this kind of fight to Hawaii in December?
Oh man, Hawaii would love this. They love their scrappers. So I know Vita would be popular. Like the Vita rematch, I know the crowd would love it, the fans would love it. So I think that's actually perfect. Like I almost feel like this was meant to happen, because Vita and I were supposed to see each other in an atmosphere like in Hawaii, a historical, monumental place. So I think this was supposed to happen.
It was 1919 on two of the judges' cards, and you were down 2018 on the other judges' card. Were you aware when you were in the fight that you needed to claw back into the fight? Were you calm about that whole thing?
Yeah. So I actually consider myself a slower starter. And there's something about that third round. So my last 3 fights have finished in the third round. So 3 was like the magic number for me this fight, and I was saying in the interviews when they asked for my predictions, I was like, it's gonna be a finish in like the first 3 rounds, like second or third round is gonna be a finish. So yeah, I do consider myself a slower starter, and even my corners, Bill Crawford, Manuel Hernandez, when they sat down, they're like, all right, you're a little behind, so let's pick it up, let's wake up. So yeah, I knew what was going on, and I was kind of just picking my shot. I was just waiting for my moment. I knew it would happen. It's always about like waiting for that moment and capitalizing on it. So again, like that was literally the one strike that I threw in her guard. It was that one elbow, so it's just make the most of it.
And you, is that the toughest fight? Have you learned the most in that fight of all your fights so far?
Yeah, and I would say too, like there was so much buildup about how she wanted to knock me out and like her striking and everything, how she's such a striker, like brawler, that I actually was like, well, I don't want to stand with her. I'm going to fucking try to take her down as fast as possible. But then when I realized, like, what am I talking about? I'm a good ass striker. I can stand up with her. I was knocking her, I was like, that's when I started calming down and like just started feeling relaxed and just having confidence in myself. So I think that's what I learned the most from this fight, is to have confidence that I am a freaking good striker. Even though my jiu-jitsu game's on point, I'm a grappler, like I can strike.
Thank you.
Was there a period like late in the first round or anything like that where you kind of felt a little bit tired just because you were going so hard on the wrestling in the in the first part of the first round?
Oh yeah, especially like I said, she had really good wrestling defense, and I do like to use the cage a lot. So when she would hit that rock star stance super hard, and I made me really, really work for those takedowns, yeah, I got really tired. And then her corner was also kind of like messing with my head because they were like, she's so tired. And I was just like, shut up. So that was pretty good cornering on their end. It was kind of messing with me, but. Yeah, for sure. Like even though I am a wrestler, chain wrestling is really difficult, especially grinding and trying to get someone down who has that wide stance. So yeah, we definitely, normally my corners and we don't even talk about the fight afterwards, but immediately after in the back, I was like, this is what we need to work on. This is what I need to work on. I want to do this for preparation for her, because we know I'm going to fight her next. So I'm like, this is exactly what I need to do because yeah, they prepared very well for me.
When you look back, when you look back at your preparation, you said it was about being a shark, and you were a shark. You were a vicious finisher. I mean, Rory said something interesting today. In his post-fight interview, he doesn't know if he's got the desire to really hurt people anymore, and you really showed you've got serious damage on your opponent. When you look back, it may not be now, you may not know it yet, but when you look back on your camp and it was about water and being a shark and being underwater a lot, did that help you in the fight, do you think?
Yeah, because it's a very, very, it's a lot of mental training, you know. And so I was down on the scorecards. I was losing this fight, you know. I felt physically tired. I felt like I had an adrenaline dump. I was gassed, but I was just like, there's no way. I have to do something, you know. And so it was very calculated. Like that elbow really was. I was like, all I need to do is land one good strike from the top, because her guard was really strong actually. So I was like, all I need to do is just land, you know. And so yes, like I felt like a shark tonight. I split her head open. She said she's gonna knock me out. I'm like, well, it looks like I sent you to the hospital this time, so whatever's. And now I have a mortgage to pay. Well, crossing my fingers, I have a mortgage to pay. So I'm like, I will take that doctor stoppage win for sure.
Last one.
Now you're saying you want to run it back, and normally most fighters would take that win and call it a day, but when fighter to fighter, what makes you want to give her that opportunity?
She deserves it, man. She's a warrior. Like I said, her face can be split open. You can see the skull, and she'll still be like, no, I'll fight. And I was almost gonna be like, so if both fighters agree, like, can we just keep the fight going? Like, how does that work? So yeah, I think she totally deserves it. She gave me a freaking good ass fight. So yeah, like we're for sure gonna run it back. I think the only thing that will prevent that is like, you know, an injury of some sort or something, you know. Cool.
Thanks, Chad.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.